Now is California Democratic Congressman Khanna. He's the deputy whip in the Congressional Progressive Caucus. So, Congressman, let's start at the border. The president's talking to members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus today about immigration. What do you hope comes out of that meeting? And would you be okay if what comes out of it is an extension of Title 42?
No, I would not. The president has made the correct decision. He's overturning Stephen Miller's policy. Let's just be clear what this policy is. It says that you can't come to this country and have basic due process that's not consistent with our ideals. Now, I'm open to providing more resources for border enforcement. If the president wants to come to Congress and say we need more resources to have processing of asylum cases, to have border enforcement, that's fine. But we owe people due process.
I mean, it may have been Stephen Miller's policy, but if you've got Raphael Warnock now saying this is not the right time and we've not seen a detailed plan from the administration on this, that's nobody's hardcore conservative, the Reverend Senator Warnock. I mean, what do you make of this challenge here of getting this done?
I have great respect for the senator, but I guess the question is, when is the right time? I mean, Title 42 was a policy that was designed to prevent COVID spread. It can't be a Band-Aid to immigration policy. The reality is that we need to have asylum and due process in this country if we want to talk about how we secure the border, enforce better. Let's do that. And the president should propose something to Congress, and let's get 60 senators in Congress to strengthen border security.
You're talking about passing legislation. I love that topic. I want to play for you something Elizabeth Warren said on Meet the Press yesterday with Kristen Welker. Take a listen.
We've got nearly 200 days left between now and the election, and there are families who are trying to make the decision at the checkout line which groceries to send back because they can't afford them. Democrats ran and always run on trying to make government work for working people. We've got nearly 200 days left. That's what we need to put our energy on.
The senator also said in an op-ed last week that Democrats need to deliver more by November to have a case to make to voters in the midterms. It sounds like you would agree with that assessment.
Absolutely, Garrett. I was back home and I met a teacher outside a grocery store. He said he's had 3 eggs every morning and now he's only having 2 eggs. So this is something that is hurting middle class, working class families, even in districts, affluent districts like mine. We need to deliver. There are a few things we can do right away. The president should forgive student loans. That is such an obvious policy. We ought to be having a tax on the big oil companies and providing a check then from that revenue to working and middle class families. That's 2 things that would provide immediate relief.
What do you say to people who worry about the inflationary impact of a student loan forgiveness program, that's essentially just would ultimately lead to pouring more money into the economy at a time when inflation, voters keep saying, is one of, if not their top concern?
I don't think it would be inflationary because the students aren't paying it back right now anyway. This would just be formalizing that they don't have to live with this debt. And to the extent there isn't any inflationary impact, you can raise taxes on the billionaires, and that would offset the cost. And that is another policy I think the president should do. Well, people are hurting. Others are making billions of dollars, and they aren't paying their fair share. They want to see that they get people want to see those billionaires taxed appropriately.
Raising taxes on the wealthiest has not been as easy as congressional Democrats would like. You and I remember quite well Kyrsten Sinema's opposition to some of the tax portions of the Build Back Better plan. Now that Congress is back, though, there's a lot more discussion about reviving some of that agenda to kind of try to pick up the pace here. Joe Manchin, the other part of the Senate duo that has made this so complicated for Democrats, wants a bill that says tax reform, prescription drug reform, all the above energy plan. Do you think that's the kind of thing that could potentially move in the time frame we're talking about now?
Yes, it's our only shot. I mean, we have to get 51 votes in the Senate, and Senator Manchin has been open to prescription drug reform, lowering the cost. He's been open to a moonshot on renewable energy. I understand that he wants some short-term increase in production, and I think we have to discuss that to see if we can come up with a compromise that meets the needs of the moment.
You've only got about 12 legislative weeks, I think, left until the August recess. You can check my math if it's wrong, but are you satisfied that leadership in both chambers feels the urgency sufficiently to get this done before it's too late to matter politically for Democrats?
Yes, I mean, first we're going to get the Competes Act through. That's a big deal. Not enough folks are talking about it. It's led to Intel putting $20 billion into Ohio, creating manufacturing, construction jobs. We can tell the story of economic renewal. We can also get this climate bill to the president's desk. And then I think that Senator Warren is right. There are a lot of things this president can do through executive order, including, by the way, capping some of the high costs on prescription drugs. The president should take 3 to 4 bold actions, student loans, prescription drugs, that show the American public he's doing everything to lower prices. You know, that was part of FDR's success. He took action, bold, persistent action. We need to be a government in motion addressing people's concerns.
If that's the prescription for 2022, I want to ask you about 2024. One of Bernie Sanders' top advisors wrote in a leaked memo that he's not ruling out a presidential bid if there were to be an open primary in 2024. Do you think Bernie Sanders should run in 2024 if President Biden doesn't? And would you support him again? You were one of his national co-chairs.
Well, good for Bernie. He's the most popular politician in the country. He is advocating policies that are popular: Medicare for all, free public college, not having student loans. I would support him if he runs. Obviously, that is his decision, and he said that he would only run if the president does not run.
We've got an older generation of Democrats who've been running, I think is fair to say here. Should perhaps a young progressive from California like yourself consider running in 2024? Is that something that would cross your mind if there is an open primary?
Absolutely not. I'm happy where I am. I don't think 24 is the year that people are looking for that. I think there's a lot of instability right now, and someone like Senator Sanders or other progressives would be great. And of course, if the president runs, he would have my support. I do think the president needs to act on some of these key progressive priorities. As a joking matter, I was saying to someone, you know, how many presidents do the baby boomers want? They've had a lot of them, but you know, we'll see.
What are you, Gen X? Is it Gen X's time? I guess the go with Roe signs go back in the basement for now. You can use that idea for me if it ever happens. Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you.
Great seeing you.